Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome back to Edessa. This particular scene on this cool desert night, Kadir has invited his good business partner Memnon to Omar's shop for a particular meeting about the weapon that they designed and created, and is asking him. Will be asking him what there be their further obligations to things, since their original contract has been somewhat voided by the situation involving the beast. So, as though the curfew is strong within the city right now, he has a few little tricks up his sleeve to be able to go through the night quietly, and only hopes that Memnon can get through it as easily as he could.
Yes. Given the proximity to Omar's shop, virtually being neighbors, Memnon is a little bit more familiar with this part of town. He successfully moves through the alleyways, listening for any guards approaching and timing his movements just right. I'll just say that I will arrive before you, I guess.
No problem. I live in the Jewish quarters. It is a walk.
Yeah, Memnon will just arrive and waiting.
And um, though this would be his Kadir's first time going to Omar's shop, he is aware of the rules and some of the meeting locations that Cainites can meet at. So as he enters the shop, he'll go directly upstairs, showing with a sense of confidence to any who would try to impede his way. And I believe as he opens the door, he will see Memnon sitting at one of the several tables within the place.
Yes, yes. You'll see Memnon is with. I'm sorry, just out of character again. This is the exchange of the weapon I crafted you.
No, weird, because you already blew book that I have it. So this is more
Okay, okay,
discussing.
good, good, good.
Yeah, this is more discussing. Hey, since things have changed, how do you want to deal with this? Because I have a plan, but since you were involved with this, I should inform you about the plan.
Okay, that's fine. So Memnon, he's just there by himself. He doesn't like have anything with him. Yeah, he'll give you recognition as you walk through the door. Ah, Al Qadir, it's good to see you. I'm glad you've arrived safely.
I thank you, and I'm glad you're able to arrive here as well. As he sits down, I got the item. That would be unfair not to inform you about it since you worked so hard to make it, and I worked so hard to research about it.
It's I take that as a positive. Thank you for your inclusion, but understand that as a smith, there is a certain amount of discretion that is given. I make the blades. I do not ask who swings them or at what.
But I do believe you deserve part of the glory if you use it for a bigger purpose.
There was glory. Do tell.
The sheriff did bring up that he was interested in such an item. I think we should present him as a gift from ourselves to him.
Hmm. I see no reason to oppose this. I think that would be rather savvy. That
Exactly.
word exists in this time. I'm not sure about that. Sorry, go on.
So, I think I think it'd be a great interest for us to show that not only can I establish a formula to possibly make these weapons more efficient for you to make, you can easily prove your skill.
Hmm.
And with
I
that,
do.
I'm sorry, you go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Right. Memnon was just going to say that he does take an interest in the science behind his craft.
And with this, we could start establishing ourselves in the hierarchy of the city. I would think it'd be pertinent for you and your guild that if the sheriff relies on you for equipment, it should make yourself be rather valuable to them.
Hmm. I have had the same thoughts as I have offered my services to many other Cainites. I will be honest, I not necessarily desire a place in the hierarchy, only the benefits from business.
I see. It's like, and he's kind of contemplating this for a moment.
There comes certain expectations and responsibilities that, until the appropriate timing, I do not see myself fulfilling. So I'd much prefer to work on my own terms. I'm not against taking order or having to be leaned upon for, well, the good of the cause, as we just had, as the mutual defense of this city should be, even if just theoretically, all of our concerns.
I see. There's that that there's that there's said your wisdom is valid in this situation, but I did not want to deny you the opportunity if you wished it.
Well, I
So would
will.
you?
Hmm? No, go on. I'm sorry.
I said, would you prefer that I did this alone and simply um, keep your name afloat in our conversation, or would you wish to be with me?
Oh, by all means, please. You that this weapon was crafted by my hand, but I and to present whatever feel necessary.
Or, then I see. Then only just to make
As
no,
but
you.
yeah, sorry. Yeah, Ben was just gonna say if you could um, steer the sheriff towards patroning my shop, by all means, he would definitely appreciate that.
Then before I present the item to him, I would like a proof of your craftsmanship in some way. A note, maybe if you're able, to, if I can bring it back to you, you can engrave your name upon it.
Hmm, very well. That is something that I've realized I have been lacking, my own Smith's mark. That'll be fine. If you have people that could move the item about the day for you, I can. It would rapidly return to you.
Likewise.
There's a knock on the door. Guess why the fuck not? And after a few seconds, it opens, and Irene will walk in.
Kadir will take interest because this is an absolutely new face to him.
You'll see Memnon stand and he'll walk towards Irene. Good to see you again, Irene. What brings you to this part of town?
So, Memnon, I came to do some shopping, and I thought I'd check who is upstairs if there was any.
You see Memnon look upstairs, and he shrugs. Hmm, haven't been. I wouldn't know. Have you met Al Qadir here? He is business partner of mine.
I see. I'm afraid I've not. It's great to meet new faces.
Kadir will rise from the table and walk towards her and bow deeply. And out of character. The clothes you're wearing in your image is similar to what you're wearing right now, correct?
Yes, minus the necklace. Although I'm sure by now she will have a replacement for that.
Yeah. Then he'll start speaking in Latin if you understand it.
Do
Uh,
I have this on my sheet? Oh god, my sheet is too big. Let's see where I left my languages. Give me a few seconds to see. Oh, yeah. Okay.
yeah, and then he'll begin speaking Latin. So, good evening, madam.
And yes, she will reply in Latin. Good evening to you, sir.
So, as Memnon presented, I am Al-Qadir, a Clanasamite. And you are.
It's a pleasure to meet one of Clan Semite again. I am Irene Argeris of Clan
And
Sombra.
with that, his posture shifts more like a mixture of surprise and acknowledgement. And he continues in Latin. So you're the famous Irene Heaven he told me about.
Famous? I can assure you I'm not. But I do not know of any other, well, at least Cainite in the city with the name of Irene, so I presume so.
You humble yourself too greatly. I hear many great things about you. A slayer of monsters with a heart of gold.
I have slayed no monsters, I can assure you.
Are you guys still speaking in Latin?
Yeah, because he's assuming that she's Greek, so he's trying to speak in her proper tongue.
Okay.
I mean, her proper tongue would be Greek.
Yeah, valid point. My bad. After possibly seeing Memnon's a little bit of confusion, he'll go back to Arabic. Sorry, I do that at times. I try to speak the tongue of the people that I speak to.
No need to apologize. Every now and then I employ the appropriate tongues for, well, the appropriate conversation.
But it is an honor to meet you, Irene. My my clan is in your debt.
I can assure you there's no debt. It is not necessary. I just did what I could, and when I could do it.
Generous as well. And he looks over to Memnon. That's like, you should be honored to have her as family.
Oh, indeed I am. She has earned my personal, how do I say, grace of being my battlekin. Irene is, well, there's more to her than meets the eye.
He nods at that.
At this point, kind of keep it going. There will be heavy footfalls on the stairs, multiple heavy footfalls on the stairs, as the figure pictured behind the silver mask will enter into the room and offer a gracious bow to those who are gathered. He will be followed a few moments thereafter by another young woman wearing a similar silver mask, who will also give an appropriate bow, as he will say, "Salam alaikum, greetings, ladies and gentlemen, greetings, lords and ladies."
Kadir will bow and greetings. This seems to be a very active night tonight.
You'll see Memnon. He will turn to meet Lucian's. You'll get a nod of recognition from Memnon.
I find that all nights are lively if one knows where to press their finger to find the pulse.
is a pleasure to meet again. As Irene will curtsy.
Indeed, a pleasure to see you again, mademoiselle. Ah, where are my terrible manners? He will fix the Assamite in a glance from under the mask, almost a predatory glance, as he says, "Bonjour, my name is Lucien de Chambon, the Knight of Thorns, ancilleur of Clan Bruja. Pleasure to make your acquaintance."
Kadir will sit up straight and he'll he'll look at he will look at sorry Lucian with a steady gaze, and from his appearance it seems a lot more not necessarily hardened but resolute than you might be expecting. But he'll respond also in French. I am Al-Qadir of Clan Assamite. It is a pleasure to meet you.
Ah, Bon, so lovely to meet someone whose blood was nurtured here in the crucible that is Anatolia. I am pleased to make your acquaintance.
Likewise. It is good to see an honored member of our society to be with us tonight.
The Malkavian squad, come on, guys.
I'll be that guy. So, this entrance will be heralded by a scratching at the door.
As Lucian was the last one to enter, he will simply reach back his hand and open the door.
There sits Alonzo, paw still up. And he sits there. He looks up, the ears prick. And his little tail wag, 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 sweeps the dirt behind him. Well, sweeps the top step behind him. And how much of the doorway is he filling as he opens the door?
None. He stood to the side and opened it.
Perfect. Then yeah, he opens the door. Alonzo sits there and looks so proud of himself. So proud. He did it good. And a couple moments later, because she doesn't need to fool these people. Once she's upstairs, it's all good. Meanwhile, just kind of piff into existence in the room, just inside the doorway. And will proceed to dip into like a comically over-the-top curtsy, many an arm flourish, as she says, "Oh, thank you so very much."
Think nothing of it, child.
You're late, Mina. Garnet will just appear right beside Irene, like he was in the room the entire time. Just
Irene will curtsy to both.
There's a distinct pout mid over the top curtsy. But she'll nonetheless come up and then reach over, stooping to scoop up Alonzo under an arm, who is still wagging emphatically.
Yeah. Well, we're having quite a gathering then today. And he'll look over to the two who have appeared in front of him.
Well, there's not many other places to go, are there?
Unfortunately, yes.
Silly.
It is for everyone's protection.
Is it? The head tilts ever so slightly. Still grinning. Always grinning.
Lucian will close the door behind the wayward childling as she enters. And he will say, "Well, at least some believe it to be."
Well, until proven otherwise, I will not assume anything else.
Oh, would you like me to prove it otherwise?
Do you have a conspiracy or two to inform us, good sir?
Not conspiracy. The fact that my haven was openly attacked by infernalists yesterday evening. Brazenly, in fact.
As I think we all know, they don't abide by our rules, thus they must be eliminated.
Yes,
By
however, in
infernalists?
order. Oh, sorry, continue.
Irene looks interested. She asks, by infernalists.
Oh, of course. Hey, I've uncovered what it is that they were doing. It was childishly simple, really. And so it was when I presented them a missing piece to their puzzle, they jumped at it. I lured them in. I baited my trap. Unfortunately, their leader never presented himself in order to give me honorable combat. There will be a very slight shrug. However, they openly attacked my Avon, and my guards were unable to pursue them through the city, based entirely upon this curfew. They're using the fact that we cannot stalk the streets to guard or to protect the people in order to use it as a shield. It's no doubt admirable what the attempt was. However, I assure you, monsieur, the attempt has failed.
People will always abuse the rules against them. It is our responsibility to show them that there are consequences to that. I am glad that none were hurt and none were killed.
However, he will look around and he'll say, without the powers of the blood, who here can safely walk the streets during this curfew? If I may voice a point. He will raise his own hand.
Garnet just reaches over, takes a bottle of wine, and begins pouring it. Oh, it's no problem for me. Say with this pleasant smile.
The pout has returned. It's again kind of a distinctly childish expression, and she sets Alonzo down.
So, that is 2 in a room of 6. Can safely move about the streets at night in order to curtail the worst excesses of these entities. I choose to also voice, what was her name? You see he taps the underside of his mask with a single gloved finger, and he says, "Ah, of course, how could I forget? I assume that you are all familiar with the noted infernalist, Mary the Black. Oui?
I've
Think.
heard her name in conversation. I have no concrete information about her.
I'm gonna roll manipulation subterfuge.
You are very quiet.
I'm gonna roll manipulation subterfuge.
You'll see that Memnon will just say, never heard of her.
As conversation is going, for the sake of hijinks, Mina will begin like that slow sidle process. Sidle. Moving over towards Irene, a little bit at a time. It's not. It's just subtle enough that you kind of look at her like bleh, but it's not that subtle. She is definitely doing the thing and posing an innocent face anytime she's regarded for it.
Irene will simply answer to the question, I've heard of the name.
I have to check and see if my empathy specialty applies here. One moment.
Ding.
Oh, it does not. So you do win. 4-4.
Really happy.
Lucian will casually flick his hand and he'll say, "Indeed, however, the infernalist who I did battle with, who was powerful enough to reduce a large section of my mansion to rubble with his hellfire, was not Mary the Black, but a different individual. So, it would seem as though there's more than one. I would hazard, based on what it is I learned, there is a reasonable coven."
And if that is the case, then the sheriff and the prince must be notified.
It has already been done.
Then it's merely a matter of time before they are eliminated. We just need to be careful. They are
There's
few and we are many.
There's another very casual shrug. I'm curious, he will say, as Garnet had wine, so he will walk over and fill himself a glass before he will swirl it and sniff it. Is anyone here familiar with the faith of Zoroastrianism?
That depends. Is that under theology or under kindred lore?
It's a real world religion. It'd be under theology.
Then most likely not, because I only have a theology one. That's mainly only a mixture of Islam and the basic religion of Hakim for my character.
Hmm. Well, allow me to phrase it like this. The religion of Zoroaster is very similar to Christianity in the sense that it follows a single god in the form of Azur Amasta, who is the supreme being, the being who created the world, etc., etc., etc. It also possesses a being akin to Lucifer, the devil, he who shall not be named, whose name I will not reference here. This cult has been actively copying and stealing excerpts from certain rare books, books that focus on the Dark One, his aspects, his rites, and his rituals. I don't know why yet. However, I know that they've copied several books, several aspects or several passages from rare and interesting books in order to no doubt create something that they're currently attempting to play with that is far more than likely beyond their ken. So, I set a trap claiming I had one of the missing books, and, well, I had a very pleasant conversation with their leader. Rather interesting chap.
Did you? Have you informed the sheriff of these conversations?
I have not had the time, though I have suggested to the prince that in the situation as it presents itself, perhaps a new office should be created in tempore in order to deal with the issue at hand, as the sheriff has his own duties as they pertain the maintaining of the state, and is not otherwise equipped, I believe, to deal with the matters of the infernal. Understanding is the weapon of choice here, not the sword.
I see. But if that's the case with your wording, you should maybe insist that she become a hound amongst the sheriff to have more authority. Creating another branch would seem unnecessary at this point.
There's a moment as he appears to contemplate for something.
Oh, darling, you got the thing wrong. He wanted the new position for himself to lead, darling. He'll take a sip of his drink and just kind of smile this huge smile. You can't very well lead something if you're following the sheriff's ranks, can you? A new position is a new position. I think you have to keep up, really.
Ultimately, I believe in the striking down of these entities wherever it is they rear their rather ugly head. I believe that we are only strongest when it is that we do not lurk in shadows, and I think that in a city whereby this taint has spread as deeply as it has, questions need to be asked and answered. I'm told that we have a hound of shadow and death that roamed the city until such time as it was put down. I now see infernalists so verbose and so loud that it is that they would think to incinerate an entire estate with hellfire and not be afraid of the consequences. It is dark tidings, I fear.
So speaking of hounds, there will be not noises from Alonzo, but rather Mina seems to be squeaking.
Define squeaking.
As
I was going to say, she's a Malkavian. She can squeak.
no, it is definitely not human squeaks. Mina will perhaps get caught literally with her hand in a bag that she's carrying, and well, for lack of a better term, puppyish kind of squeaking. is elicited in response, as she has shuffled her way gradually around until she is kind of uncomfortably side by side with Irene, because it's just so fun to get into her personal bubble. It's so much fun. She makes the most awkward expressions, but she's too polite to move. It's just so fulfilling.
This is most definitely true. As Irene is looking at Mina, like, okay, but yeah, she will pretend that all is well because all is well.
Mina will proceed to pull her hands out of the bag and hoist them up in front of Irene in a very imperious, "Here, take this. It's dangerous to go alone" kind of fashion, kind of hoping for the autopilot of, when someone thrusts something at you, you put your hands out and you take it.
Yeah, you catch it.
Yeah, so she puts her hand out, and once Mina retracts her hands, there is a warm little wiggly body in Irene's hands.
Irene will look at it for a moment, and I mean, for as far as usually La Sombra try, at least Irene tries, and most La Sombra succeed to keep a straight face. That is kind of gone now. She makes a very surprised noise, and then just holds the puppy up and looks at it, then looks back at Mina.
Mina does lean in ever so slightly, just that tiny touch too close further, and goes, "I did promise."
I didn't. I mean, thank you.
And she stands upright again, looking very pleased with herself.
Well, what is its name?
And I suppose that's up to you.
Oh. Is it a he or a she? As Irene has no experience with animals.
Oh, it's a he. Proper pick of the litter.
Okay.
Old enough to eat solid food now. There's a vague head tilt.
As this little conversation kind of is going on, he just kind of looks at Irene and Mina just oddly, like in his mind's like, we're talking about fighting off evil infernalists, and you guys are having a conversation about puppies.
A doggy.
The puppy.
As you do.
Yep. For what
I
it's
choose
worth.
to point out, Katie, I demand that there be a picture of the puppy.
Were you not watching, sir? This
There
is
was.
the puppy.
Right.
It's a little, see, when you've got Alonzo right by her feet, and you got little Alonzo up in Irene's hands.
Oh.
A little Alonso for a little Sombra.
Yes. 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 Yes, this is the pupper.
You got way. I'm not gonna lie, Kate. You got way too into that last one. I was like,
And I don't know who else has. Let me click on people. Does anyone else have inoffensive besides the Malkavians and Irene?
I do. Memnon does.
Irene does not.
Does she not?
No.
Oh, poor Irene.
Poor pup.
Oh my god, why does she feel so cold?
No, she does not feel cold.
There's just a very uncomfortable puppy squirming in her hands, kind of like, what is life? Admittedly, it was probably kind of alarmed to start with.
Mommy! Aw. That's so cute. So, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, go on. No, go on. You started.
Kadir will just simply look over to Lucian and say, it's like, oh, well, with this information, whenever you have the time, and there's a tone in his voice like, kind of like more like me, like it is a little bit disrespectful. Like if this happened, you should have figured out a way to talk to him as soon as possible. Odd that you haven't, but like you should speak to the sheriff. So he could easily create a strike force to deal with the situation.
and in the event you strike it with fire and sword, will the cancer not merely go deeper? He says in a way as if he is talking to a stupid schoolchild.
My, such tension between you two. Garnet will just lean back. I would almost think that you two are social barbing, but more frustrated gasping, I think.
Like, what do you expect us to do? Utter annihilation of these things is probably the most efficient way, and honestly, destroying the resources on top of that.
If you, as I say, attempt to burn something out, yes, you may destroy a pretty object here or a scroll or book there. However, in the end, it is merely a panacea, not a cure.
Then what other tactics do you wish to imply?
For a start, he will very casually sit down. You know what? Fuck it. He's gonna sit near to. He's gonna. Garnet has the wine. He will sit near Garnet because Garnet has the wine. He will say, "I would ask the questions. For example, it is impossible, absolutely impossible, that this kind of operation can continue in the city without the knowledge of the individuals therein. Even if these are not connected incidents, even if they are not directly linked to one another, it is still likely that those members of this court, this kindred society of Edessa, are still inexorably involved. I would start by finding out who amongst them have been feeding the information to these cultists. I would start by finding out who amongst them have been acquiring objets d'art that they should not have. And I would start by asking the questions that need to be answered. Because even if you crush a cult, and he'll do the motion with his hand of crush, even if you crush a cult, so long as vestiges, so long as tendrils remain, they're never quite gone.
Kadir, well, look on it with a bit of contemplation, and it looks like he wants to put words out of his lips, but he stops himself. And it's not like he basically show on his face is more or less he understands your statement, but he doesn't agree. Like he feels like there's some holes in it, but not necessarily in a sense of incompetence, just different ideas at this point.
And how would you then suggest to go about it? Seeing as you obviously have a vast pool of experience to pull from.
The eyes under the mask flick closed. You can tell he's thinking. And he says, questions, as I said, need to be answered. Ultimately, yes. Let us take the most blatant example. Let us take the most blatant example that I have seen of witchcraft and dark pacts so far in my time here in Edessa, which was the purported great hound of shadows that attacked several members of the court. That was dark sorcery. That was powerful magic. However, powerful magic always leaves a trace. Those who practice it, those who wend it and rip it and tear the fabric of creation open in order to bring such life, if one can call it that, into the world, well, you can't simply do that. It leaves tremors. It leaves a taste. You simply find...
I'm sorry, no, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Memnon would just interject, you mean to say power comes at a cost?
Yes. Essentially. So, how I would find this out is I would first identify what it was, which I'm in the process of doing. Then I would see what I would need to recreate the ritual where I've been to do it. Then I would simply find who it was who had acquired the objet d'art in order to do so. It was created out of shadow, or so I'm led to understand, or it was a large part of its construction. He'll smile. You can see he's smiling in the mask. I know where I would begin my questioning.
And there it is, where it all starts falling apart. Garnet will just say, propping his feet up on one of the chairs, smirking.
I've never heard of a Bruja sorcerer. That is impressive.
I never claimed to be a sorcerer.
But your interest in the arts is duly noted.
There's a very casual shrug. I find that it is best to arm oneself with knowledge. The Scarlet Clan are well known for this.
Mina gonna slip in to plop down between the insula because why the fuck not?
I just like the kind of, the kind of doom and the answer just sitting there just like, boop, there's Mina.
Doom on one side and Sass on the other, and she's right in the middle with a dog around her feet. This seems fine. This is the perfect place to be.
Torna just throwing all kinds of shade.
Garnet will just stand up very casually. And what if you're wrong about where you start? You start asking the right questions, and he'll smile almost malevolently at Memnon. And who knows? You could be wrong, and then, well, that's not going to look very good when you, as much scholarly knowledge as you can attain, how wrong you'll be. Because it's all very well asking the questions, but if they're your questions, they don't always have to be right to get what you want, do they?
No, they don't. Ultimately... Sorry, 1 second. My microphone went really, really quiet. No, they don't. However, his eyes kind of half close, and he says, in the end, I believe that people know the answers to these questions. It is simple. And I also know, my apologies, monsieur, I don't believe I had the pleasure of your name.
You can call me Garnet, Malkavian Ancilla.
It is a pleasure to meet you. Ultimately, I have a question for you, Monsieur Garnet.
What's that?
When you have forever, you fear losing it more than you know. Is this true or is this false?
False. Do you want to know why? False. Because forever. Why fear something that is already going to come to pass? Why not enjoy it? Why not take everything you can, and then when the fall comes, change? You see, belief is a wonderful thing that you can believe yourself and all around can believe for you, but the second that belief shatters, well, that's the most interesting bit. Everyone's going to believe one thing, and if you create them believing another, well, then that changes the whole thing. Simply saying it is made of shadow, well, I know where to start, seems very leading for someone who prizes himself on knowledge and high esteem, I would think.
Kadir will look over to Garnet, and it's a mild quirk on his face, and he'll simply say, like with that kind of speech, you almost sound like a Ravnos.
Oh, I'm certainly not a Ravnos. Certainly not.
Bring about change so quickly. Bring about the tempers of the night. Bring about the blood of lovers. Bring all the smell of fright. So it was what Malkav said to his child there.
Very astute observation of you, to quote the one. But do you actually understand it, or do you praise unscholarly knowledge and hide behind a book? Is that all you have? Colonel will just say, smiling, leaning against the chair, like his tongue clicking from his out of his teeth.
He will continue.
I will invite people to
dance the-
P&E.
I dance the dance of the fool, and pray you find me mad. For if you lay hands upon the root, you will know me without illusion, and find me guilty of the truth. I don't claim to understand what it is I cannot understand. I'm not that guilty of hubris. However, I see a spark of the father in the child.
I wonder. Maybe one day you will. You just have to look deep enough. Maybe one day you'll look in the right direction and not believe you are. Who knows? Might be sooner than you think.
As I enjoy this metaphysical conversation of our cultures, it does not change the reality situation. We have creatures of evil within us that need to be eliminated. Whether I'm not saying that understanding the motives is not important, but the utter annihilation is what we need. This may seem coarse, but as long as we destroy the entities and the ones that associate with them, the problem will eventually die out, if not move on.
Oh, hang on. I have to P&E someone. Give me a second.
And he'll look over to Garnett. As an Ancilla of the clan of the Seers, you must have even more insight than possibly that we all do.
Hey, Katie, what are we reading off you? Because I think I beat you. Grab your
You
hands.
did. I'm waiting to see if anyone else is doing stuff.
Oh, I suck. I'm too absorbed by Doggy.
Get your puppers.
Yeesh.
Yeah, since I don't see any more imminent rolls, yeah, I will give you that. As the conversation is happening, Mina tends to kind of sit back and tennis face it. You'll catch, however, that she is keying hard off of Garnet. She is definitely studying his responses, his expression, probably studying even like little bits of his behavior. But is definitely using him as a barometer of sorts as this back and forth is going on, because this has gone well over her head at this point, for all that she's feigning her usual impish disinterest. But do go on.
Garnet will turn to the Asimite and smile. Perhaps I do, perhaps I don't. Yet nobody seemed to ask the seers what they see. Everyone is assuming and using belief to know what they know. It's an interesting thing when a man so draught with madness doesn't know where to look or who to talk to about the things he's seen in the night. It's a sad day, really.
And he'll nod to that. That's why, since you have presented yourself, it'd be wise of me to ask for your counsel.
If you can manage to survive this city and its oh so thrilling nights, come by our stables and the farmlands. We'll see if you can find me.
And you could perception awareness as he turns on his auspics. I will surely try.
What's my awareness at again? Oh, it's that many. Oh yeah.
Yeah, then you definitely could tell that he's, as you make that statement, he turned on his heightened senses.
Garrett's smile just seems to go more widening. My, so keen to find me already.
Said first to move, that first to win.
I do not know if this is casual. Very casually from where he's sitting. However, where I come from, monsieur, even if this is not Elysium, that is vulgar.
And Kadir will kind of look over to Lucian, but the use of obfuscation was not understandable. But
They entered here and they dropped it. They were polite.
Oh no, it's fine. I take no offense to this. In fact, just lean forward. Let the young man come seek what he needs to seek. But be careful, though. Be very, very careful. Because sometimes you won't know what you'll find. Hey, Daryl, what's your, what's it again?
Oh dear.
Depends on which one. Do you need a
God.
road score?
2. No, it's 2. What?
Let
what's
me
number
take
2
a look.
again?
God darn it.
Everyone throwing around disciplines today. We just sitting there going,
Hey.
I'm assuming you're
oh
going
yeah,
to ask me about my willpower or my courage.
No,
What
we're
he
trying to
needs
dig-
is your perception plus self-control or instinct. If it
What
is
do I
think
roll
it
for?
is.
What do I roll for that again, kid?
You're rolling manip empathy. Your difficulty is his
self-control.
perception plus self-control / instinct.
All right. I have 8 dice. Then.
no. His difficulty becomes 8.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So manip empathy defeat.
3 successes.
That
dear.
is a week.
Yeah. I have a feeling what this
so-
is.
What happens is kind of a smile, and as them 2 activates, the most horrifying visions you've had in your life just seem to just gradually kind of creep into the side of your head as almost just this screeching, pulsing, like a song, like piano strings that have gone off key, like a scraping again. Someone scraped nails on a wall and just makes this eerie sound. Carl will just simply smile and just lean back, just eyes locked with you, is almost, just watching you. You begin to hear it. It starts with gradual effect, that type of thing.
For what it's worth, while this is going on, because Mina's responding verbally to, well, the verbal part of this. So, like, as this whole thing is kicking off, she's sitting there. She's leaned down at the moment to sink her attention into Alonzo because it is the safest place to look at the moment. And while she is plucking at one of his big ears, saying, "You should be careful how hard you look."
And Kadir, he definitely, as he's not going into utter screams, his body is twitching because definitely since it's somewhat of a mentally fear effect. His courage is high; it is at 5, but an Ancilla's dementation is still an Ancilla's dementation.
And you cannot roll awareness for it.
Nah.
Nope.
Yeah, you also have to make 2 successes causes panicked flight, similar to Rush Wreck. While 3
Does it?
successes causes an inflamed derangement, storyteller's choice, and 4 or more causes catatonia.
Are you looking at Dark Ages?
Yep. Fear the void.
No.
Ooh, which is it?
Nope.
He's doing.
Oh, that's Harmonium. I can English today, Evan.
He's using 2.
Yeah, so he's
I know.
into
I was reading Harmonium because Evan can't read English.
Nope. It is essentially
I won't be sleeping well for a while.
it's eerie visions, and the more you try to ignore them, the worse they will begin to get.
Mm-hmm.
Does it give a prompt for any kind of check to avoid a fear frenzy?
No.
Nope. It's mainly, like I said, I won't be sleeping well for a while. I'm going to be a bit paranoid for a week.
You won't be sleeping well when you're walking around. These things are going to be for you. You're just not going to be well for for a week,
Yes.
really.
And honestly, once I realized that, it's like, I guess I offended him.
Basically, it manifests as visions, scents, and sounds of divinity revealing themselves in the most mundane of places. Victims report that these images tend to follow a general theme. Angels or demons or culturally appropriate religious figure, including ancestors, dramatically recounting and reenacting the victim's greatest fears and repressed secrets. And yeah, basically, if you try to ignore the visions, it will start getting more insidious. Like, someone showing genuine sympathy will look like mocking pity, etc., etc. It will begin to twist things around you. Everything will just seem malicious. It's kind of nightmare logic.
Can I ask how do? Sorry, I just want to ask. What's the system for detecting the use of a discipline?
You cannot roll awareness on dementation.
Yeah, but not on imitation. That's the insidious part about it. It's very,
Yep.
very subtle. Because it may or may not really be happening to them.
Yep.
Garrett just leans back and just smiles. I hope you have a pleasant time trying to find me.
I said, Kadir is definitely, he's trying to keep his composure, but you see part of his body drumming from whatever that may have happened to him.
I just have to raise my hand here, and I'm just reading it here. According to the detection of disciplines on the Edessa forum, he can.
According to his past rulings and scenes where they were used, you can only roll to detect them if you are familiar with what dementation is, and if you are the target.
And I don't have Malkavian lore. I do have kindred lore, but I don't have Malkavian lore. So.
If you want an actual ruling, you'd probably need to get a storyteller.
Yeah,
But
I'm perfectly fine.
They might want to upgrade their section on detecting disciplines, because they actually have a list that you can't detect, and it's not on there.
He may need to. I know in the past he has ruled that other people in the vicinity cannot roll for it unless they know what dementation is in character.
What I specifically mean is it's just sort of like in the middle of this scene, like interrupting everything. So if you want a real ruling, hit up a storyteller and let's get this done with.
Yep.
Yeah, but no, I'm perfectly fine. So he will eventually realize, I offended somebody, which that wasn't. But Kadir said is quiet and trying to keep his composure, and he'll actually begin to sit down after Garnet's last ominous statement. But that's right. And he'll look over to Garnet. I hope I can learn much in my travels then, if I choose to try to find you. And his voice, though not missing a cadence, definitely is an undertone of something has shaken him.
Garnet will just smile and raise his glass, Indeed. You just exchange this, looking at specifically Irene with this bemused little smile on his face as he takes a sip. Just I don't know, like some sort of joke that Irene won't get, but Garrett just seems to giggle to himself.
Irene definitely won't understand the joke. She does understand the tension in the room, and in a very silly attempt to break it up, she will kind of raise the pup and says, I'm going to call him Apollo.
Blank. That does jostle her up from looking down at Alonzo. She just kind of glances up what?
Kadir will look over to Irene's isn't that some being of light in your culture?
I mean, I'm a Christian, but Apollo was the Greek god of the sun, amongst other things.
That's what he's more confused about, that you'd name something after the sun.
And finally sits back, kind of back against the table, and man, does she look amused all over again. What a nice change of topic this is.
Memnon will say, that's a fitting name, and he'll just reach out if you let him to,
Of course you would let him.
And for the sake of the newcomers, this is the newly dubbed Apollo. Da-na-na.
And speaking of Apollo, Mina, you kind of see Memnon just here, leaning in a little closer, just peering at you, trying to make sure that's definitely you.
I assume he's doing that at Mina?
Yes, Mina. Again, still not sure that he's seen this face, but I'll say, Mina, has Apollo given you what you received that was meant for you recently?
Oh, you mean the knife you were making for me? Yes.
Ah, good. I hope it suits you.
And actually, I will totally ask you for the description later, based on what you've done. But she nods and broadly smiles. It does. It's very different from the rest of them. Very distinctive.
Splendid. I like to know that my customers are satisfied.
Oh, I can't imagine a new knife would ever make me unhappy.
Memnon, so far from what I've seen, all your work is exquisite.
You honor me, Lady Irene. We'll only give the best.
And it shows.
Kadira will look over to Memnon and said, "You've more than proved it." Said, "You should not feel that it isn't deserved."
So, nonetheless, it's just a courtesy to ask my customers if there was anything overlooked or perhaps could have been improved. That's how you keep them coming back.
Man, he nods at this. And
Gerard's here now. Hey. No, after this little exchange, there is the sound of heavy footfalls coming up the stairs, since this is upstairs. Yes. And eventually, Gerard will turn the corner in his fine wandering the streets at night armor, and presumably with Merchant of Bones in tow. Funny how these things coincidentally line up like this.
Yeah, he'll walk in with his typical plague doctor regalia. The doctor is in the fucking office, motherfuckers.
And once they're sort of in this room, which I assume has a large table or some such with many places to sit, or several tables, as it were, Gerard's just going to sort of look over the assembled Cainites.
Seeing the sheriff has presented himself, Kadir will bow deeply to him and say, "Evening, Sheriff."
Good evening, he says, looking at this person that he vaguely recognizes as somebody he has recently worked with, maybe.
That one time.
Yes.
Bones just pipes up from behind Gerard and just says, this is where the dead and the dying decided to congregate tonight.
There isn't much other place that we may go.
The options have become decidedly limited. Still fiddling with Alonzo's ears. Man, look at this doggo, though.
Garnet will stand, darling. I'm seeing MOB.
Garnet, how are you this evening?
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful as always. Teaching the youth about a small few things. As always, Neil, look at Kadir with this little wicked little smile like, I know what I did.
Well, I have no doubt that you're teaching him well then.
Oh, I'm just a simple man that likes to teach the youth about many, many things.
The youth, is he young?
I have known of the blood since even before my change. But historically, yes, I am very young.
And who are you? He says, pointing the bird mask at you. as if for you to speak.
He will again bow deeply to this other individual. I am Al-Qadir of Clan Asamite.
Merchant of Bones, Clan Cappadocian, and Scylla, and all that. You don't have to bow to me. I'm just a simple man of simple means of the dead, like Garnet here. Though he's not part of the dead. Well, he is dead, but you know.
You do yourself such a disservice.
There were many words in that sentence. Some of them went together.
Kadir will change a bit of his posture, though. There is a edge to it, not necessarily of aggression, more of caution. I've never met your family before. This is an honor to meet you.
I'm gonna P&E that.
I'm not.
Perception. Empathy. Do I have empathy? I'm a Cappadocian. I don't really give fucks, but
We are in Dice Roller 3.
Right. Div 6, so 2.
It's less involving you and more something that's bothering him right now. That he feels to be a little bit on edge, a bit off balance. Though he's keeping up a front, there's something that's not quite right.
All right. Well, I'm not gonna play the Osmix game. I ain't gonna worry about it. He does give you the slight tilt of the head, like a bird would do, kind of like that sus head turn that they do, but it's just brief. He seems to notice your apprehensiveness, but yeah, he just kind of just shrugs his shoulders and then limps in the room and appropriates a seat for himself.
Gerard, being completely clueless of Al-Qadir's plight, instead just sort of looks at Garnet, since Garnet, I assume, swept to his feet to, like, introduce himself to Merchant of Bones, like, present himself, whatever.
Yeah.
And will instead just say to him, what sort of lessons have you been teaching the young ones?
One's about how to wander in these nights, and one's about belief and how changing belief can be a very tricky thing, but also a very powerful thing if used in the right way.
Understandable. I do fear that these lessons hopefully will not be going in circles.
One can only hope, my dear Sheriff. One can only hope. The young mind is a tricky thing. You have to apply the right level of balance. Looks right in Kadir's eyes.
Kadir does not look back to him.
And I had thought that members of your clan were constantly standing on a plank, balanced on a fence. Good on you, sir.
We've had the pleasure of a great many teachers here tonight.
I'm glad I am not one of them.
My Lord Sheriff, since you have graced us with your presence, and he'll look over to Memnon as he sees this as an opportunity. Yep, you there, Memnon?
Yeah, I'm here. What's up?
No, Kadir was speaking to the sheriff and looking over to you. Says, since he's here, kind of gesturing to Memnon.
Oh. I see. Sorry, didn't follow that part. There's some and we'll give his regards, a slight bow and a nod of the head to the sheriff, and say, "Lord Gerard."
Gerard acknowledges him. I cut out?
No.
No, I heard.
It's a constant fear. I apologize.
No, you're definitely there. You still there, Memnon?
Yeah, I'm still here. Is Alcadir waiting for Memnon to say something?
Well, since she made it, yes. Like he's kind of.
Oh! See, that would so be out of characteristic for Memnon.
No, if he gestures back like he wishes Kadir to speak, he'll speak. But he's giving him the honor since he's the one that actually made it. He just helped research the item.
You might see Memnon kind of give you a look and a little wave of the hand, like, no, you.
And with that, he will respond, Sheriff, we and Memnon have finished the item that we spoke about when dealing with the beast.
Gerard sort of like gives this brief look of confusion as if he doesn't really remember such a discussion as the beast had been dealt with without said item, but just sort of gestures for you to continue.
We finished the weapon made of cold iron, and me and Memnon have agreed that, in your honor and in case of future confrontations with unusual creatures, to give it upon you as a gift.
And the Bruja face palms. Literal face palm. Continue.
Clink.
Exactly.
Yep. There's going to decide the clink like bit.
Gerard sort of quirks a brow, but we'll say, very well then. I would not say no to such a gift.
And he continues his bow. I appreciate your generosity to allow us to give this to you. We hope that it will aid you in your future endeavors.
And the other hand is added to the face palm. Clink.
So, Merchant of Bones pipes up. Excuse my ignorance, but it's one for me to question, especially when I seem to be lacking in knowledge. How does such brittle metal help with unusual creatures? Can you enlighten me, please?
Yes, that I can, as he looks over to the Merchant of Bones. I have heard whispers on the wind and testimonies that such weapons are dealt with the creatures of the, I believe your people would say, the strange. The ones that hide amongst the trees and the leaves.
I don't recall my family calling anything the strange, but okay.
When he's saying that, he's more or less referring to Europeans, not actual Cappadocians, sorry.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
That's my fault. I should have made greater context to that.
And by strange, you mean what exactly?
Out of character, the Fae.
I mean, he was asking that in character.
Oh, sorry. I believe the term is referred to as Fae.
There's a small kind of pained noise.
Kind of just leads back, like, bemuses all shit, like, huh.
Mina has proven to be fairly tolerated by this Bruja. She reaches up and gives him the consoling pat on the shoulder.
The Merchant of Bones just brings in his cane and kind of like leans forward and rests both his arms kind of cross on it and just rests his head on it. Just says, thank you.
More wine, darling. You know, kind of would just like offer the bottle.
The bottle is perfunctorily taken and swung from. It's like, nope.
Gerard just sort of looks at the rising din that's going on around everybody else, and he doesn't even seem remotely as, I don't know, stirred up by what is happening here, but we'll eventually look back to Alcadir and say, I don't know if such a thing will find much use, but We have many nights ahead of us. One never knows. Again, I'm certain that it took considerable effort and initiative to come up with such a thing. I accept it gladly.
I do wish to say one thing about it, and he will move closer to Gerard if he allows him to.
Gerard, doesn't move, so, but he doesn't strike him either, I guess.
Yeah, he will whisper a little bit to him. We quench the blade and holy water. It has known to have effects on our kind, even ghouls. Do please be very careful with it.
Gerard acknowledges this.
And
finally, painfully, extricating his head from his hands. This looked painful. He will look at the Assamite and he'll say, "Have you already forgotten? You, a child of Hakim, the words of our dark father on this matter."
And he looks over to him in a bit of a skeptical look. But I feel that I am misunderstanding my generosity to him. What do you wish to enlighten me with, sir?
Very, very calmly. He's regained his composure. He will say, sorry, I haven't had to take a break.
I'm actually going to be politically correct here. I'm going to roll a pool to know this particular piece of Nodist lore. I'll roll my theology Nodism to make sure I know it. Because Evan does it. And screw it.
I was going to say, in the meantime, Memnon would quickly say to Lord Gerard, if you want the weapon personalized, let me know. Perhaps a display case for it.
Can I spend willpower? Yes, I know the shit out of that. He will say, he will look at him and he will say, so it was said via him, like me they were cast out, like me my children they were homeless, like me my children they wander, like my mother and my father they know too much, but they keep their own counsel. And then I say, mark me well, keep silent, say nothing, watch them and learn. And now you openly make a weapon to strike them down. Why?
At the time, research has shown me that the beast that was dealt with earlier within Edessa was weak to such an item. Thus, in preparation to defend ourselves, me and Memnon created such an item. It is not used to be a threat or an arc of challenge. It is merely designed in protection.
Fancy words aside, I would love to hear more about these, Faye, when you have time. Kadir?
As he says, and he kind of contorts himself a bit. I listen to the old wives' tales and the words. Some may say, as he looks over to Garnett, be unstable. But there are truth to their words. There are truth to the wives' tales. I respect their counsel.
The unstable, Gerda says, smirking as he's watching Kadir twist and turn all awkwardly.
I would agree every story has an element of truth to it, and it is built upon it, and then used for whatever manner the person wishes to use it for. But I digress. If you don't know that much, maybe you do. If you do, like I said, I will listen to you privately.
You honor me with such an opportunity.
It's not about honor. It's just more about feeding my curiosity.
Either way,
Yes, Sheriff.
thank you for your effort. And you as well, Memnon Clem Sombre. I don't believe that I shall need anything too special, but a case would suffice. I'll be glad to pay for it. All of it, as a matter of fact.
If that is your choosing, then I shall make you a case worthy of your office.
You will be compensated. Otherwise, he says, moving to take a seat near where Merchant of Bones is.
And Kadir will continue speaking, and he'll look over to Lucian. Do you wish to inform him of your conflict that you had?
There is a moment while Evan rolls self-control. Moment, please. Being fucking pisshead little neonates talking all the shit. God dang it, sons of...
Hey, my road does not allow me to lie. At least not easily.
Nope. That's a whole bunch of nope.
My road does not.
Do I need to go under a table? Is that what's happening right now?
Probably.
There may be Brewhaw Frenzy, so yes.
Oh, jeez.
Kind of obfuscates.
Let's get it. Fuck
I don't
it.
have time for this.
Does that mean we all need to roll initiative? I don't know what's happening right now.
I need to
Happens-
actually check.
Oh, gosh.
I need to check the. I need to actually check the rules in Dark Ages for Frenzy because I don't actually know them off the top of my head.
What is he frenzying for?
Beg your pardon?
What is he frenzying for?
Basically, for essentially piss. I put the difficulty quite low. I only put the difficulty for him mentally at a 4, but he of course increases it by +2 because hashtag that Bruja life. And
Okay.
basically, it's just the fact that this little pisshead's been constantly annoying him. So when he basically overstepped himself by basically saying Ansela, tell somebody something, I'm just like, neonates say what?
I did say, do you wish? Because I didn't say you should tell him. So do you wish to tell him about the conflict? Because we were openly talking about it. So if it's not an open conversation, he would have responded. And so, but we openly talked about amongst ourselves, and we talked about speaking it to the sheriff. The sheriff is here now.
Yes, but it is for me to talk about it. It's like a major, for his perspective, it's a major breach of etiquette. And I just have to find, this book is even worse laid out than M20. Holy crap. Okay.
Lies and slander.
I mean, I'll fight you, woman. I'm just wondering if I can spend now actively, because I can't spend 1 power to avoid the frenzy, because Bruja can't. But I'm just wondering if I can spend it to basically ride the beast so I can walk up and leave, or stand up and leave.
Can assure you that Clan Summer would greatly appreciate you standing up and leave before, pouncing the shit out of this establishment, which is from one of our clanmates.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, that is the nature of Frenzy.
Oh yeah, totally.
I'm just gonna do what
love the fact that this place is just back into business.
So, quick question as we all determine what the fuck we're doing. What is Uncle Bruja's road score?
His road score is 7.
Son of a bitch.
But
Because I'm gonna roll a thing.
You got to try and calm him down. In theory, you can't really roll on tilt because once a frenzy would occur, it would go to an initiative action.
Oh, it will.
and then-
I'm just trying to determine what I'm doing on my action, and in the past, it has been, if I roll well enough, it's been allowed to prompt a
Cool.
willpower check
That's
or something.
fair. I just need to find where it is in this book. God damn it!
What's the rules for dominating someone frenzy? Employ them to
Plus
stop?
I don't think you can dominate someone lower generation than yourself.
lower, not no. Else frenzying, I believe, is a +2 difficulty to roll dominate for.
Well, there's a threshold. I think it's like 2 generations gap. That you
Yeah.
can't.
I don't know what. Yeah, I don't know what generation Lucian is.
7.
Oh, okay.
Hello, storyteller.
Hey, buddy.
Hi.
Oh
I got
wow!
your back. There's a page number, buddy.
What's the page number, sweetheart?
357.
Thank you.
So if everybody wants to roll initiative while people are reading up on Dominate and Frenzy, that would be
Sounds like a
great.
Systems, the nature of the beast, frenzy and rush wreck.
I really have to go in 6 minutes. Why are you doing this to me right now?
I mean, you can always take your action to flee.
I use my action to throw Irene out the window.
Perfect.
Bye.
Everyone, roll your shit. I'll make a list.
Jesus Christ.
And then
how many
we
people are playing
bring-
combat right now.
And then we bring the guard and the military and all this stuff to this neutral residence. Good stuff.
Like I
see.
said, I know what I'm doing.
Oh wow!
Is the answer to that obfuscating?
Yep, skating to get the fuck out of there. Yeah, no. If
Yep. Please post your initiative in the side chat.
I need to check my actual initiatives.
What roller are we in?
3.
3.
Jesus. Okay.
Hi, Chris.
Uh,
I'd like to point out that it was.
so, can I get a brief rundown?
Bruja Frenzy.
Okay.
It's about to go to sad places.
Yeah, let me roll how many fucking military guards are going to show up.
Oh, no.
I mean, there's got to be noise first. Watching you.
I choose to point out I may be able to end this frenzy in a single round.
I'm gonna hope so.
Who are you frenzying on?
Asamite, Alkadir.
Okay, yeah, you'll probably end it in a single round.
that was fucking ice cold.
Yeah.
To be fair, when you're frenzying someone, don't they have to be ash on the ground until you stop frenzying?
Yes.
Or the other way around.
Or the other way around. That should be interesting.
Is that all of us? 1, 2, 3, 4.
And I'm just trying to see if I can spend a willpower to ride it, or if I can't. In some cases, Cainites can manage to overcome the extra frenzy. Each success below 5 periods.
Daryl, I need your initiative.
Oh yeah, yes, I can actually
You're a
roll it now.
Bruja.
Yeah, you can't. I don't think you can either way, and particularly as a Bruja, like, nah, son, you frenzy, you frenzy.
Yeah, Rage Frenzy's a non-will power. It's sad days.
Oh dear.
I believe is Dex and Wits, so that's 7 dice for me.
That you roll 1d10 plus
1d10.
your dex wits.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm doing that. Rarg.
Rarg.
Rarg. Oh, rolled a 10, so that's 17 for me.
That's what?
17 for me. So that rolls
Oh, let
10.
me scroll up and see.
So, Lucian,
Mm-hmm.
you may spend willpower to end a frenzy that has already begun, but for 1 turn you are frenzied.
Lucian only needs 1 turn. That's fine. I think my initiative will be the first in the order anyway.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, let me Let me quickly check the rules for frenzying, because I know you can try and get out of it after it's begun. It's just a case of when and how.
Daryl, what was your initiative?
17.
Gotcha. Here you go.
Here I thought I rolled high. Never mind.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm just sitting over here with my force celerity being like,
Man, I got a fucking 10 and everything. I'm like, yeah. No,
I rolled a 9. I was like, wow, finally.
Yes. Same. I was like, oh.
And Chris, can I ask a quick question, because it has been allowed narratively before? If I smack him hard enough with the Wusa demontation, does it give him any benefit to getting out of it?
I believe it can give plus or minus 1 difficulties, so yes, if you want to try and deaden what he's feeling with passion, you can.
Yup.
Although every other form of demontation probably won't be particularly helpful. Will probably make this worse, but passion can help.
let's not make it worse. God.
I mean, she can make it worse or she can make it better. But she can't trigger a roll. She can only lower the difficulty of rolls you can already take.
Mm-hmm. All right. So if we have our initiative order, I'll take my turn if that's okay. So first of all, let's spend the willpower so I will be able to exit frenzy next round because I don't want to do this again. Next, I will spend.
I'm just looking at the rules for frenzy. You can spend a willpower point to control one action of your character for 1 turn. This moment of relative lucidity and control lasts for only a turn, possibly 2. It does not stop the frenzy, but allows the character to control it slightly. Hilariously, it is me and MA that get to decide how long the frenzy lasts.
Mina.
He said me and MA. Oh. But yes, I heard it too for a second.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, that's probably a good thing. You don't want Mina controlling the frenzies.
No!
Sound like you in frenzy. 300 years. What?
Look, I'd be an asshole, but I'm sitting next to him.
I love how in Vampire prompting particularly an older Bruja to frenzy. No, that's on you, son. This is the train that's whizzing towards your face because you aimed the train at it.
All right, do we have all the clarifications we need?
Yeah, I think so. Fuck it, I'm a Bruja. Did you say I could spend a willpower to end it on my next turn?
No,
or is
you
that
get to
something
control an action.
You can control the action, so you can basically avert attacking anyone. You can decide to take a separate action or no action at all for a turn.
When you're frenzied, you make whatever attempt you can to actually pop at the thing that has annoyed you, don't you?
Yeah, you'll do anything to destroy your target. That includes anything that includes destroying anything that gets in the way.
Okay.
You didn't make this character be a bitch, just letting you know.
What was that, sorry?
You didn't make this character to be a bitch, so.
I value your life choices.
Shame on you, Vaughn.
So in all honesty, then it makes no difference if I spend it, because if he has to do all within his power, he'll spend for his celerity blood actions anyway, which are different actions, which he'll end up. I suppose it could give people the
In
chance
theory,
to
you
put
could
him
do
down.
something like spend willpower and decide to leave the fucking room, or spend willpower and just literally use it to try to keep yourself in place if you really wanted to.
Spending willpower lasts for the turn, not just a single action. So it lasts for every action you take in the turn.
I'm going to say for dramatic purposes, I will spend the blood for potence because he's going to do it anyway. His hand was just on the table, and then the table broke in two. And I'm going to spend the willpower to basically not charge him now, though it's clear he's actively holding himself back, as in the sword is half out of its sheath and he's actively stopping himself as the hand quivers.
And Kadir will look in shock of the display of strength.
So it would then go to Garnet.
Gerard,
No.
actually.
Gerard, Memnon, Alcatir. I'm way fucking down the list.
I mean, you're right.
Oh,
next
sorry.
to me. You're in the middle there.
Oh, it says Gerard. Sorry, I misread that as Garnet. My apologies.
Okay, well, seeing that somebody is halfway out of their seat, but clearly holding themselves back, Gerard's going to stand and move, like, kind of throw Kadir behind him with his action, and then blood buff fortitude and dexterity. And that'll be my turn. I mean, it's pretty obvious who he's like starting at and the cause behind it. So it's just, throwing the body between the blender and the baby.
So it's pretty obvious something's about to happen. Do I have to roll a P&E to get the sense off of Lucian that
I think he kind of like pulls his sword and stops halfway and is obviously quaking with rage. Like he starts to kind of lunge up from his seat.
Yeah, I think the feral growling is enough to give people for him.
Okay, then doing due diligence to my clan. Yeah, Memnon will kind of step beside Gerard, seeing that that Gerard is going to stand up for Deer, being business partners. So, yeah, I will buff my stamina by 1. I'll put that in the chat, and that's my action.
All right, it's my turn, and Kadir outside is looking in utter shock because he is confused right now why he has lost his temper. And he will just simply speak to Gerard, and basically have him delegate him. It's like, Sheriff, should I just leave?
Yes.
Yes. And then he will begin going down the stairs then. Yeah, and that's it. That's the end of my turn.
Okay, I'm assuming everybody is focused on this frenzying Bruja, so I am just going to apply Obfuscate 2 and wait.
As a proper Malkavian.
Can people see you right now?
I'm assuming everyone is focused on the Bruja, so that's what I'm using as my advantage to just vanish.
Oh, do you have vanishing is Obfuscate 4?
I'll do that. Fuck it. What's that roll again?
I think it's like Charisma Survival or something weird.
It's one of the really weird rolls, yeah.
It changed a lot in a lot of little ways from V20. Oh, you roll your intelligence stealth against the highest pool of wits alertness in the room.
Alright, who has the highest pool of wits alertness then?
My wits is 3 and my alertness is 2, but I'm gone, so
my pool is 4.
The pool is 6.
My pool is 6.
Anyone got higher than a 6?
I'm sorry, what's the pool again?
Oh, hell no.
It's wits alertness.
Wits alertness. I guess I also have my sheet up for all this, huh?
This was supposed to be a pleasant conversation.
I mean,
This is
when you invite
vampire.
the
There are
Bruja-
no such conversations.
It can still be.
Yeah, I've got a 6.
Okay, yeah, just
Okay,
roll
it's
it.
just 6. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm fucking gone. With 1, 2, 3, 4 successes.
Yeah, you instantaneously vanish. No one can track you.
Where'd Garnet go?
I mean, if anyone who's looking at Garnet literally sees him literally out of existence. He literally, it's if he's never there, and if you want to remember him as Div 5, but I'm just going to assume I'm not going to have everybody rolled out for this scene because that's going to take way too long.
But darling.
Darling! Holds up
Okay.
one last hand to MOB, like the Titanic type thing before he vanishes.
All right. So Irene?
Irene is gonna block the door and put a blood point in stamina and one in strength.
Well, poop stinks. Is she actually like shutting the door and blocking it?
Yeah, because Essamite guy just left. So sorry. Yeah, she is.
The most effective way to stop a Bruja frenzying is put a body between you and the target.
I mean, it's a good way to slow him down.
For a turn.
For a whole turn.
I mean, this is going to be silly. Like the pretty little Sombra, who really is not very good at fighting, is going to block the door. Yeah, right.
I used to put it. It was just a really sad roll. So because it was rage frenzy, it increased my difficulty by +2. So it's still only a difficulty 6 roll. 4, 4, 4, 3. Fuck.
Anyway, so let's see, Irene, your action is basically just blocking off the door.
Yep.
Okay, we have 2 bodies. 3. Mina, what's she doing?
Mina was sitting right next to the guy. Mina says, "Fuck the police." She will probably, as Irene is heading for the door, be. I won't give him that order because it won't work if Irene is blocking the door. I was going to tell Alonzo go home.
Sorry.
Nope. She is going to snag her doggo, dive under the fucking table, and probably command him over to a corner or something. Essentially go over there, sit, stay, and then is going to pop obfuscate too from under the table.
Merchant of Bones.
MOB is going to stand, and then he's going to try to save Irene by throwing her out the window.
Seems like overkill.
She is the most important person in this room, therefore she must get out
Wait,
first.
what? Hell no!
I agree with this course of action.
Yep.
I do not. You're
I think everyone agrees with this course of action. Besides, you need to go in like
You
5
trying
minutes.
to get me to frenzy? Come on.
Open the door and pitch the baby out the window. Do it.
I just wanted to say you were the most important person in the room. Not that you needed to go out of the window because of that.
Yeah, Merchant of Bones is just gonna blood buff his dex by spending. How many blood can I spend to buff? I'm not really used to this.
It depends on your generation.
What generation are you?
8.
3 blood points.
Then he's gonna buff to dex. 5.
Remember, that's how much blood points you can spend per turn, and certain disciplines require blood point expenditure, which take from that pool. So
it does. So yeah, he's just gonna spend 1 point for dex. So it brings him to dex 4, and that'll be his turn for right now.
Okay. Okay. With Merchant of Bones increasing his... Well, I was going to say increasing his already great speed, but it's actually the complete opposite. He is exceedingly slow. Instead, the Merchant of Bones becomes ever so slightly faster as he hobbles. And and we'll go back to the top of initiative. One quick second. I think I mean, would you think it would be fair to say because the object of Lucian's frenzy has left the room and is no longer in his immediate view that he can make a check?
I mean, the book says make a check every round. Do it.
Oh, it does? Cool.
Yes.
In which case, yeah, absolutely.
Don't fuck me, dice roller. Don't you dare fuck me. Let's see how this one goes. Does it declare a difficulty to get out of frenzy, or does it just say it's the same difficulty?
I would assume it to be the same difficulty. I'm trying to look it up right now.
5 successes.
Why, Mina?
Oh, yes, I need a total of 5 successes. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's a stacking thing, right?
What is his self-control?
And you can spend a willpower to get it. You can spend a willpower in this roll because the frenzy has already begun.
Yeah, but after this, I have to do horrible, horrible things. I apologize in advance.
And you can continue to spend willpower to delay your actions instead, or to control your actions. Yeah, it says on page 358, a player whose character is in the midst of frenzy may choose to spend a willpower point to control one action of his character for 1 turn. So you may keep doing that until you run out of willpower and keep rolling. But you can only spend 1 more power point per turn, so you have to decide whether you want to spend it on the roll or controlling your actions.
Yeah, I'll spend it on the roll, so I leave my actions to the GM.
Okay. Excellent.
So he's got 3 successes, because ultimately ending the frenzy sooner is the best plan.
Okay.
So tell me what I must do, and I will decide the best way to do it.
Well, I've always ruled that the only disciplines a Cainite can use while in frenzy is the physical ones, so that's exactly what's going to happen.
Cool. Let us spend the blood for potence and all the celerity.
Yep, and who's directly in Lucian's path right now?
Mina.
She's under the table.
No, Mina moved under the table. She took the turn to move away, which was the wisest course of action.
She hid under a table and disappeared.
I guess I just don't understand the layout of the room because I feel like the table was between him and Al-Qadir.
I thought the table was smashed, so there was no table anymore.
Yeah, the table was broken.
Sure.
She obfuscated anyway under the table, so he can't target her.
I mean, even if it was
the Merchant of Bones.
Yeah.
Okay.
What? No, gods, no! I need you tomorrow.
In that case, as he, the Merchant of Bones is really slow. Lucian is the exact opposite. Lucian is bitchingly fast.
Mm-hmm.
He will spend 2 blood into strength and wham the Merchant of Bones with everything he's got with a longsword.
Okie doke.
Yeah, that's all your blood use for this time, I think.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. Roll it. Merchant of Bones you may reflexively spend for physical disciplines at your leisure.
What physical disciplines?
Fortitude.
Oh yeah, I do have
Fortitude.
fortitude. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Wink, wink.
Yeah, he's gonna spend 1 for fortitude.
Okay.
I'm assuming that's how that works.
I was going to be in combat. He's not wearing armor for this particular scene, so. Yep.
That's
Oh dear.
Okay. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes.
Okay, so that's
4.
That's 4 plus 3 plus 4
strength.
plus 3 automatic successes.
Mm-hmm.
Well done. I need it.
So it's 4 plus my strength, which is currently 4, which is 8, plus 3, which is 11. So is that it? Yeah.
Yes, 11d10, and then you get 3 automatic successes from the potence. Oh, well, that's actually a fairly good. I mean, a good roll considering the situation.
So lucky. Good job.
1, 2, 3 plus 3 is 6 lethal damage. Mr. Merchant, Mr. Bones, you're struck by the extraordinary strength of of Lucian as his sword slashes across your body, and the force itself, as it kind of collides with the sort of joint between the neck and the shoulder, is enough to force you to your knees almost through the floor. But you, roll your stamina, and you've already spent for fortitude. What's your fortitude level?
4.
Okay, you automatically soak 4 of this. So you're only taking 2 lethal damage. Just roll your stamina plus cloth armor, which is 1 extra dice.
Nope.
Not
No, ones don't take away from soak and damage rolls.
Oh, that's right.
So you actually soak all of this. Impressive. Yeah, the impact is enough to force you down, but the weapon leaves no wound, and obviously the sword slides harmlessly off your body.
Merchant of Bones just looks at him and then looks at the sword wound and looks at himself and then looks back at the Bruja.
I'm alive.
Like, yeah, I'm alive. Holy shit.
I like how you actually forgot your fortitude and you've got.
Now's the part where you go, "Oh, my heart," and fall over.
This is how much combat I do a vampire. It's like none. So it's just like, oh, wow, this is gonna hurt. Oh no, it doesn't. Yay. So yeah.
Oh, my favorite way to avoid fucking combat. Oh, my heart.
Who's next? Let's keep this proverbial train a running.
Oh, sorry.
Gerard.
All right. Well, we're gonna come up behind old Bruja, and we're gonna give him the dukes, the graps.
Oh, we're gonna grapple? Yay!
Well, you haven't actually hurt Merchant of Bones yet, so you know.
You're not wrong.
Yes.
Let's try to keep it clean.
You're asking a Cappadocian to keep it clean.
This is Gerard right now, I feel like this is Gerard.
You're right.
And grappling is a contested roll, so yeah, both of you roll your strength brawl, and if any of you are spending for potence, please do declare it.
I'm not.
I've already spent for potence, and it lasts the round.
Oh yeah, no, I completely skipped your celerity actions, didn't I?
In theory, well, if you want, I'll take them right now and go on merchant. I thought we said they happen at the end of the round.
Yeah,
Even
they
though
do.
Technically, they don't.
So we don't
But,
go to the initiative.
He didn't actually spend for he didn't actually spend for celerity last round, but yes, moving past the horrible amounts of death.
I will spend for celerity this round, by the way.
Okay, cool.
But let's do the graps.
That didn't go well.
I still have 3 automatic successes from my potence.
For sure.
Yeah. Okay. You want to grapple by Gerard. He tries to get his arms around you, but you
By the way,
your beast can't use a sword very well, but it's quick with it.
Quick question: do I get a bonus for flanking with Merchant of Bones? Since I did state or back attack. Because I did come up behind old boy. Not that I don't think it matters, but it might.
Let me just double check to see if it actually does matter. It doesn't. But we'll say you have a flanking bonus, but it won't matter for this round.
Okay.
Like
you did what I could.
Yeah. That's all anyone can ask for. Also, we already you haven't have you rolled your self-control for this turn? I'm losing track.
Yeah.
Yes, I did. I got 3 successes.
That's right. Yeah.
And I spent the willpower to get an extra success rather than spending its control action.
Yep. Okay. Yep. We continue down the line of fire. Menmon. Lucian is trying to kill the Merchant of Bones, and also he isn't having the best time with that either.
That broken table, was that made out of wood?
Yes.
Is there something that could serve as a stake, perhaps?
I'll roll D10 for you. Hello, buddy. And then one high low.
Oh, I'll take high.
You got a 1.
Okay.
That table just kind of got cleanly, like it got smashed. It just kind of split in two. So there's no real shard or chair leg that can be really effectively used. Granted, if you just broke off a chair leg of your potence, that would take you to turn, but it would give you a stake to use.
Then that's how I will do this, because while Memnon sees that this has to stop, he doesn't think he's in the right to just kill. So yeah, what I'll do, I'll break a table leg or chair leg and fashion a stake.
All right, Al-Qadir, you're running away.
As I was told to do.
Can you make me a quick dex stealth roll? Because guards are now on their way.
Yeah, I could do that.
In fact, 10 guards are on this way, because I rolled a chance die and got a 10 for the guards. So 10 guards are on their way.
Jesus.
That is just for the first few rounds. There's gonna be more.
Great. Oh no.
Right in the shop. Because going outside would not be a good idea.
God, I would highly recommend spending willpower, because you do not want to be accosted by 10 guards.
I'll spend willpower. I'm down to 5.
That would be a disaster. Okay, yeah, you easily dodge the guards. You see them coming. You have celerity. You literally you dodge out the way as the most Olympian acrobat. Just rolling into an alley and climb up the side of a building and just ensure that they don't spot you, and they don't. So you're in the clear at this point. You're well out of the way. And with that, we go to Garnet. Garnet, you're invisible.
I'm going to slide into the furnace corner away from the conflict, and I'm going to look right at the Bruja, and I'm going to roll something.
Okay.
Are you going to make it worse, Garnet?
Yeah.
Make it worse.
Of course I am. I'm the road to sin. Of course I'm going to make it worse.
Excellent.
Okay. Thank you,
so what's your willpower?
7.
Are you? If you're using,
is it manipulation?
If it's D, if
yeah,
you're
them
using,
one I'm using.
then for vampires you use their road score.
It's road score. Beautiful.
Which is 6. I actually got it wrong. It's not 7.
6. Hot shit.
What is that roll again for that? Is it
It is
manipulation?
empathy.
Okay.
Manipulation, empathy. Yes.
So it's diff 6. Beautiful.
Keep in mind, I don't allow willpower for discipline rolls.
Oh no, no spending. I got 3 successes.
Okay. 3 successes. It lasts a night. And you're making it worse, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yellow bile. Okay, yeah, +1 difficulty to all self-control checks. Or for the rest of this evening, Lucian. And
yay!
Yes, great. Irene, it's not that your attempt at martyrdom has yet again been thwarted by those who seek to steal your thunder. What do you do?
And no one seeks to steal my thunder, I can assure you. I think I'm gonna whip the tentacles out. We're inside an area. She doesn't know there are guards coming, although she can expect so much. But yeah, for now, yeah, she's gonna have the tentacles out. See if that can help in any way, shape, or form.
Okay, roll manipulation occult.
I have such a great dice pool for this.
I think it is.
Oh wow, it actually isn't too bad. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's
Yeah,
like not bad. I know
yeah,
your
it's
dice
not
pool.
bad.
Like your dice pool's pretty good for this.
It isn't the best, but it's pretty good. Yeah.
You're a social character. Oh, so you summoned 5 bloody tentacles. 5 tentacles surround Lucian. Well, they arise from the various shadows of those surrounding Lucian. Because they have to be within darkness.
Mm-hmm.
They'll go on Irene's initiative next round.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, by the way, can I still use? No, I can't. Of course not. Never mind.
Mina, what you doing? You just hiding under a table still?
Honestly, truth be told, I'm activating Obfuscate 1 as well at the moment because I want to be out from under this table. I want to be in the furthest fucking corner, and I want to do that without making any fucking noise.
You
I'm gonna activate that and scramble, and try not to bump into fucking Garnet.
As he's obfuscated, you'll subconsciously move around him.
Gar's just sitting there pretty, just going, yeah, I'm just gonna keep making this worse in my little corner.
And there is Mina, Merchant of Bones. How do you do?
Hey.
You've been struck with a sword.
Yeah. Am I really on the ground? Am I prone or whatever, or am I
You're
still
not
standing?
prone, it was phonetic, so
Okay.
technically you have all the benefits of standing. You get hit with supernatural force, so it's like a human hitting with your sword. Like the sword literally sends your body moving, like it literally alters the movement of your body when it hits you.
Okay.
And in theory, Lucian is currently grappling with Gerard because what happens is Gerard went to grapple him, but Lucian is actually the one controlling the grapple, so the two of them are actually still grappled.
Okay. So I'm assuming he's
nobody's
not...
grappled. You won defense, so you're trying to grapple each other, but nobody's succeeding.
So I'm assuming
he's not. I thought that he clinched, but okay, cool.
I'm assuming he's not trying to get away from me then.
This
is very important because it's going to determine whether I use this discipline or not.
Gerard appears to have momentarily occupied his attention. Lucian will be targeting whoever's the most immediate threat, which currently is Gerard.
I hope this works, but he's going to use Ashen Lady's Embrace on his arms.
Okay, let me just look that up real quick. I think I know what that is. Okay, so Lucian isn't wearing armor, correct?
Correct.
I don't think that would actually matter in this case.
I don't think it does.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, roll your... I wouldn't say Lucian's avoiding you.
So it automatically hits.
Yeah.
So he needs to soak 2 levels of ag. Both of them, or the thing goes into effect.
Can he soak ag?
Necromancy.
I mean, I can't play fair here. It's necromancy. I'm sorry.
He does.
When
He
you
does
say,
in fact have a
when
single.
you say play nice with the Cappadocian, I really can't play nice. It's all dirty.
He soaks a single level of it because he does have 1 level of fortitude.
And then, okay, so your arms shrivel up, and you can't hold anything more than half a pound, and you cannot use potence.
Let's see.
No. I actually, according to, I cannot use potence with my arms.
Yeah, basically.
I mean, you can only touch one of your victim's limbs. So I assume you take the sword arm.
Yeah. Okay. It's only one arm.
Yeah, it says the vampire touches one of her victim's limbs, so you wouldn't be able to get.
Oh, okay. Excuse me. Then
Question: can I, because I have a crap load of actions and some of these have to be defensive, can I physically dodge him if he has to touch me?
You're frenzying. There is no thought to defense or tactics or any strategy.
That is entirely fair.
Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah, cannot benefit from potence. So yeah, yeah, Lucian, you take a level bag, and you, as you're frenzying, Lucian doesn't realize this. Neither really does the beast because it's not an expert on weapons. It doesn't realize its arm is now crippled, but Lucian, you drop the sword.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, the sword is far too heavy with that crippled arm.
That's fair.
Yep.
Does that now go to my celerity action?
Yeah, we're gonna go to your celerity actions, then Gerard's.
Okay. The first action, because the Merchant of Bones caused him pain, is grappling the Merchant of Bones.
Okay.
With his one good arm as he rips off the mask.
Nice. I will.
I'll give you 3 guesses what will happen if he succeeds on the roll. Will be.
Yeah. I'll put this at a +2 diff because you only have one arm to work with. Normally, grappling would use both arms, which you don't have.
That's entirely fair.
You still get to benefit from potence because you have one good arm which is not crippled.
Right. So it'll be difficulty 7 in that case. Oh, sorry, no, it'll be difficulty 8 in that case.
Difficulty 8. Oh
my God.
You grapple.
Well, he does get to oppose the grapple.
I know, but I don't know if a Merchant of Bones actually has the dice pool to resist that.
Oh.
What is the
combined with the potence, it would be 7 successes.
You can do it, MOB, I believe.
7 successes?
Yeah, you need to get at least 7 successes to defend from the grapple. Because you're the defender, so if you draw, you win.
Oh, I only got 6 dice, so I'm not gonna do it.
Okay, in which case, don't roll.
In theory, you could if you spent a willpower and got all successes.
Yeah.
I also want to remind that
no.
now fighting multiple targets, which has an effect.
I believe it is +1 diff for every extra person or something.
Up to a maximum difficulty of 9, I believe it is.
Mm-hmm.
So
do the tentacles count for this?
I think even one opponent puts him up to 9 when his diff to grapple was 8.
Yeah.
And sadly, his successes are all 9s and 10s.
That's fucking.
It's fine. It's cool. We'll roll
I
with
mean,
this.
if you're the defender, wouldn't you only need 6 to defend successfully?
Yes,
STs.
I'm just checking.
I mean, hilariously for this roll, it doesn't actually matter because you got a 5, a 9, a 10, a 10, and a 9. So.
I mean, if it becomes difficult,
I'm just in mind for future beatings.
Yeah.
There's my bookmark.
On his second celerity action, I'm gonna bite.
Okay.
I need to actually check the rules on the bite because it's been so long since I've done one.
Well, you got the grapple requirement off. And I know it's Dex roll.
Dex plus Brawl plus 1.
Is the grapple not a singular action? Because that's how it went in our fight with.
That's true,
State
yeah,
3.
because you spent celerity, so you get to spend your first celerity action now, Gerard. So.
I'm just asking because that's how it was in my fight with Siegfried. That he grappled me, and then the next turn tried to bite me.
Well, the next round.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
yeah. You grapple, then you bite.
All right.
Grappling takes up an action, so.
We tried to play nice, but MOB is the homie, so we're going to attack these. And what's the diff now? Is it -1 for back attack or flanking?
Yeah. It's -1 diff. So, oh shit. Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to hit.
Okay.
So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Like, we try to be nice, now I'm just gonna fucking talk to everybody. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Are you using potence?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna spend for potence for 2 more.
Okay, so that's 7 lethal.
Ooh.
Oh,
1,
that's
2,
a
3,
really
4.
good
So
that's Lucian, you take 3 lethal.
Ow, my universe.
Ouch. Is having now Lucian celerity action, second celerity action.
Nom nom.
Yeah. And I think you get up to because you can only take a number of attack actions in celerity rounds equal to your half your celerity rounded up.
Yep. So he only has 2 attack. He has 2 attack actions. So he used one of them to clinch, and this is his last one.
And so you can't spend willpower to. No, you're in frenzy, so you don't take wound penalties anyway. Okay.
No, he doesn't take wound penalties in frenzy. Yeah. Go to bite.
Because the clinch is already controlled, I take it that I don't suffer the extra increase +2 diff from the withered limb because he's literally just leaning in at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, you would just make a standard roll for this, I think, because you're controlling the grapple. Like, you can literally just lean in and jump.
And are you biting to drink or are you biting to harm?
Therein lies the question.
It's not hunger frenzy, it's raid frenzy, so it'd be to harm.
It'd be to harm. He's still going to get gobs of his blood, but he's not drinking to drink him. He's drinking to inflict harm.
Yeah, so it'd be to do aggravated damage.
Yeah. I don't think you get blood if you're biting to harm.
Oh no, yeah, it's either you drink or harm. It's one or the other. But it'd definitely be to harm. It's a raid frenzy.
Yeah, that's fair. So that's going to be 4, 5. So that's 62.
Shit. Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4 roll over. 4 plus 4 is 8. Plus 3. 8 plus 3. Sorry, 8d10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 aggravated.
Okay.
Which he'll soak 4 of automatically.
You'll soak 4 automatically. It was 7 ag, so you take 3. You have a cloth armor, which I'm happy to. Which I'm gonna say is now destroyed after this ag because it's ag damage. You will get 1 dice to spend for your cloth armor. Mr. Bones. Okay, you soak 5. You take 2 ag. So far different from the sword. This is excruciatingly painful. And cuts through your unnaturally dense skin like if it were butter.
Oh man! How dare you ruin my clothes?
If we all survive this, I'll buy you a nice new suit. Are you happy now?
Merchant of Bones looks really unsatisfied right now. Like his mask is like all torn off and like, yeah.
All right. So Gerard, do you have another action to take, or do we revert to the top?
I do. Yeah, I got one more. Second verse, same as the first. Like my friend, put you in a hearse.
Holy shit!
Oh my god!
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Oh my god, I figured out why Robbie always gets those rolls. He's fucking rhyming and singing, and Dice really likes it.
It's not 11. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 and the 5 because it's flanking bonus.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
6,
those.
7,
Specialty
9,
longsword.
10,
Jesus.
11, 12, 13, 14, 15 successes.
Hey, you want to know how
We're
MLB
playing
is bad?
werewolf now, boys.
This is how you prove
I
MLB is bad.
if I die doing this, I am entirely happy to die to that roll. Because, that is literally, no, son, you get the ground levels.
There's not many rolls better than that. So Gerard makes some sort of intricate sword carter.
All I can say is, I'm sorry.
Different pieces.
I didn't want to do
Dude,
this.
Don't worry about it. This is what happens when we have
2,
frenzy.
3, 4, 5, 6,
Fucking
7,
hell.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Jesus.
12.
Fuck me.
12 damage. There is actually the risk of final death here if you don't soak some of it, because the lethal will stack over
ag.
once you hit torp. It will stack into ag. So you only need to soak a bit of it, because you've taken
1,
3
2.
lethal.
I soaked 2. I might be dead. I think I am.
I know. No, I think you're on 6 ag and the 1 lethal on torpor. I think you survive with 1 health level if I'm doing the math right.
I thought you activated fortitude, right? Or do you just have fortitude?
I only have a fortitude, and I calculated it into the actual. So
Yeah,
it's got stamina 4 and 1 fortitude.
Yeah, I don't think you spent for it. But let me just double check real quick. Let me check health here. Technically, your beast could heal it as the damage has come, because as the damage hits you, because I've done that before. That don't require a roll, and I'm not sure if it's.
I've also, to be 100% fair with people, so like realistically, I've also spent my blood for the turn.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh yeah, no, it wouldn't, because you hit incap. You hit incap then torpor. So yeah, you have 6 ag wounds and 2 additional lethal. So you are torpid as of this point. At which point everybody sees Gerard strike Lucian as he attempts to in his frenzying delirium rip apart with his fangs the merchant of bones, slices off his other arm, and actually rips entirely through his torso, effectively sending the upper half of his body flying into a wall, and the lower half. I'm going to roll a d10 to see where it goes. If I roll a 1, it goes through the window. If I roll a 1, it goes through the window.
There are 5 tentacles
You
around
roll a
that.
10. You roll a 10. It flies into one of Irene's tendrils and actually sends it toppling briefly as it struck the tendril with enormous force. But the tendril, as it kind of recovers, reeling, begins to wrap around instinctually around the lower half of Lucian's body. But yes, that is Lucian is now in torpor, and he only has half his body left and no arms.
So he's dead?
No, he's torpid. He's torpid with with pretty much all his limbs except his head missing.
MOB's going to activate.
And a crippled. He has this crippled arm, to be fair.
You hear me?
Yes.
Oh shit! No, you're in cap because you took the other ag, didn't you?
Okay, yeah. From the touch, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. No, it's still fine. You just have even more damage to heal after this shit. Okay. So yeah, that is where this current scene takes us. Now, there were going to be 10 guards that are going to show up, but the noise ceases before they arrive.
Chris,
Mm-hmm.
Since you and I both have a place to go, can I just say that Irene will deal with the guards?
Irene can actually. Irene can. Yeah, she can. She has.
I have stuff.
Yeah, you know people. You know a guy who knows a guy. I mean, you absolutely.
I know a guy who knows a guy. Yeah, I know.
Actually,
people.
you don't. You are the guy. In this case,
And I will send the tentacles away, by the way, because
you can
I don't
dispel
want
them
to keep them
reflexively.
lingering around. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an instantaneous dismissal, so they disappear. They kind of apparate into shadowy ash, and the shadowy ash becomes it literally evaporates from view instantaneously.
So Irene will curtsy to Gerard and will then be like, "I will take care of the commotion downstairs." With your permission, Sheriff?
Gerard just, he's not even looking at you. He's sort of, looking down at this handiwork and just sort of, with his free hand, just gives a not a the rudest of dismissive gestures, but a yeah, go.
She hadn't expected anything else. So, yep. Bye, guys. Bye.
Just gonna saunter past everybody and just slide my way out, all under obfuscate.
So how are we going to clean this up?
Gerard just sheaths his sword and exhales, even though he doesn't need to breathe. Just a forceful gesture.
Who else is in the room?
Memnon's there, probably having just tossed the now useless stake over his shoulder.
Literally the only other person visible here is Memnon.
Yep. Mina's double obfuscated. If people have high enough aspects, they'll see her. But the fact that Alonzo is still sitting in the corner is probably a pretty good indication that she hasn't gone far.
Memnon will say, well, the blood stains can easily be washed away in water. But, Lucian, does he have any that speak for him, that can come retrieve him?
I will put out Lucian doesn't go anywhere without his child there, who at the beginning of the scene was sitting drinking tea with him.
So they've just been there the whole time?
Yep. Because I don't like I bring her around, but I don't like NPCing her unless, there's something to NPC her in the room.
I apologize. I didn't know that she was here. I missed that part of the scene because I was eating breakfast. What? Let me look her up 1 second.
She's a very brief write-up in his backstory.
If you want to PM me anything I need to know, I'm looking it up as fast as I can.
I have faith in you. You can do this.
Would she be offended by a Ventru cutting her sire in half?
Oh no, she's a Brewhog. God damn it, Andrew.
I mean, the question has to be asked since that is about the same sort of reason why we're in this situation anyway, so we might as well be thorough.
Mistakes were made. Mistakes were made.
Oh my goodness, hang on. I'm not going to look this up until I turn the fan on. It's 85 degrees in here.
And I think with that, the scene has ended. Thank you, players, for play. Thank you, watchers, for watching. Have a good morning, evening, or night.